Robin had faced death traps, mind control, intergalactic travel, and even Batman's moody personality. But nothing compared to the psychological gauntlet that was applying for a superhero position with the Avengers. It all started when he stumbled across a vague listing on LinkedIn. The posting read, "Superhero wanted, full-time, must be available for occasional multiverse crisis." To Robin, this wasn't just a job. This was his moment, his origin story 2.0. No more being Batman's backup dancer in the ballet of brooding. No more being called kid while literally taking a battering to the kneecap. Time for the sidekick to step into the spotlight. "This is it," he whispered. Robin gave his superhero fist pump while flexing into the mirror. But before he could even throw his first metaphorical punch, he had to face the first villain in the process. Workday. First, Robin had to upload his resume. That seemed easy enough, until the screen flashed, "Please manually enter your work history below." Robin blinked. Holy duplicated effort. I just uploaded it. 10 minutes later, he was furiously typing in every mission he'd ever assisted on. Nightwing never had to do this. After wrestling the world's clunkiest CRM, Robin hit submit, only to be greeted by an error message, stating that somewhere on the application, he had missed a checkbox. After over 10 minutes of searching, he finally found the checkbox he missed. It was his gender identity, and don't we all wish we knew what he chose? Robin checked the box and hit submit, only to then be greeted with the next horror. It was a timed personality assessment. The personality test was 200 questions of mental gymnastics. If you were a sandwich, what kind would you be? On a scale of 1 to 5, how often do you feel that you're being watched by alien life forms? Do you believe in the multiverse? And if a trolley was heading towards 5 people and you could only say 4, which one would you leave out? Perplexed by all the questions, Robin tried to answer as quickly as he could, but each question was timed. Without submitting an answer, the test would automatically choose no opinion, which then gave Robin the tag of being a moral wild card. 2 weeks after submitting his application, Robin got a calendar invite from S.H.I.E.L.D. Talent Acquisition titled Introductory Chat, 15 minutes. "Holy game time, get ready, let's go," said Robin excitedly. Robin joined the call early. His uniform was pressed, his camera angle was flattering. He was ready and excited. "This is the beginning of a new journey," Robin thought to himself. The recruiter popped up on the screen with a cheery wave. "Hi, Robin. Thanks so much for taking the time to chat today. My name is Candace. I'm part of the People Ops team here at S.H.I.E.L.D. We just want to learn a little more about your background and make sure we're aligned from a value standpoint before we move forward in the process." Robin nodded. "Of course, I'm happy to be here." "Awesome. So let's just set the stage. This role sits within our heroic operations pod. It's highly cross-functional, reporting up through our multiverse readiness vertical." Robin blinked. "Right, that makes sense." Candace smiled. "Great, so tell me a bit about yourself and your journey. What brought you to apply to this role?" For the next 15 minutes, Robin answered generic corporate questions. Candace was happy with Robin's answers. And with her final question, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" Robin didn't hesitate. Ideally, leading missions, making strategic decisions, and maybe mentoring new heroes. Candace jotted down a couple notes and then gave Robin the great news. "Great, thanks for sharing," she said. "Well, I think that's everything on my end. Next step would be moving into our formal interview loop, starting with a one-on-one with one of our senior stakeholders. You'll get a link to schedule with Thor shortly." Robin sat up straighter. "Thor?" "Yes, he's on our hero alignment and strategy team. Don't be nervous, he's actually super sweet." Robin smiled politely and muted himself just before whispering, "Holy HR jargon." 1 week later, Robin joined the Zoom at 10:58 a.m. Thor popped in at 11:06, completely windblown, wearing what looked like a velvet Henley and holding a golden mug that said, "God of Synergy." "Greetings, brave applicant. I was detained by a mid-morning tempest. Are you well? Have you hydrated?" Yes, said Robin. "I drank water earlier." "Excellent. A well-watered warrior is a resilient one." Thor glanced off camera. "Jarvis, silence all hammers." He turned back to Robin. "Now, let us speak of valorous synergy. How do you bring alignment across battle-hardened teams with widely divergent mission objectives?" Robin thought for a second. I like to keep comms open, define clear goals, and emphasize shared purpose." "Ah, yes, the fabled shared purpose, a weapon stronger than any axe." Thor took a heroic gulp from his mug. There was a long pause. Thor then asked, "What does legacy mean to you?" Creating something meaningful that outlives you, inspiring others that carry your mission." The screen shook slightly as a bolt of lightning cracked outside his window. "Well, Robin of Gotham, this has been fortifying. I shall share your noble tale with the Council of Synergists." Robin replied, "Thank you. Go with strength and take stretch breaks." Then Thor was gone. Robin sat in stunned silence. What just happened? Was that a job interview or Dungeons & Dragons questline? To Robin, the interview made no sense at all. What was accomplished out of it? Robin worried that he would not be moving forward. It had been over 2 weeks since Robin's interview with Thor, and he had heard nothing back. He emailed Candace a couple times, but received the generic, "We're still completing the interview process before we move to the next stage." Frustrated at the lack of communication, Robin began looking elsewhere. Then he received an email from Talent Acquisition. "Video panel tomorrow. Dress accordingly." The next day, Robin logged in early. Holy nervous wreck, Robin thought to himself. Just stay calm and steady, answer the questions that they ask, and don't overthink them. 4 minutes past the start time, Tony Stark entered the room, muted, clearly soldering something. Ant-Man popped in eating Doritos. Black Widow's camera was off the whole time. Doctor Strange floated in half-phased, and Captain America appeared in what looked like the inside of a moving spaceship. Greg from HR looked like he had just rolled out of bed in a WeWork utility closet, and began the meeting. "We're just going to go around and ask a few questions to better understand your fit with the Avengers org." Robin gave his best smile. "Sure, great, just excited to be here," he said, nervously. Tony Stark interrupted. "Hey, can we keep this under 30? I've got a flamethrower prototype I've got to work on." Greg replied. "Cool, thanks, Tony." Ant-Man began. "If you were shrunk to the size of a paperclip, but had to lead a strategy off-site inside a nuclear submarine, how would you maintain team morale?" Robin thought for a second. Group check-ins, lots of hand gestures, maybe micro pep talks?" Black Widow was next. "Describe a time you had to navigate a team conflict while under surveillance from the hostile AI." "Wait, like literally?" Greg piped in. "This is a culture fit question, Robin." "Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, I coordinated a rooftop extraction during a Batcave lockdown while Alfred's security protocol flagged us as an intruder. So, communication, empathy, and decoy batarangs." Captain America chimed in from his spaceship. "What's your biggest weakness?" "I sometimes overfunction. I take on too much. I've been the designated team medic, counselor, and snack bringer. I'm learning to delegate." Tony Stark interrupted. "That's a red flag. We already have a snack guy." Doctor Strange was next. "How do you handle stress, Robin?" But before Robin could even answer, Doctor Strange opened a portal to an alternate dimension where he saw himself bombing the interview in real time. Robin could feel the beads of sweat on his forehead. Greg added, "Okay, cool, last question. Can you walk us through your response to question 37 on the personality assessment?" The what?" "The one where you said you would definitely punch a colleague if they went full villain, but refused to make eye contact." Robin still had no clue what Greg was referring to, but didn't want to sound like he was unprepared. "I stand by it." "Great. Well, we'll sync internally and be in touch." Captain America chimed in. "I have to jump off. There's a black hole with boundary issues." The panel slowly trickled out. Greg stayed on too long, staring blankly before finally hitting leave. Robin stared at the spinning zoom wheel as the call ended. "I just interviewed for the world's most elite superhero team, and somehow it felt like applying for a junior marketing analyst position. And did Ant-Man rank me? Did I bomb question 37? And did I hear Doctor Strange's yawn echoing through the multiverse?" He closed his laptop, sat back. "I'm totally fine. I'm not going to spiral about this." But Robin spiraled. He emailed, called, even sent LinkedIn notes to Candace every day, checking on his status. 3 weeks later, Robin got an email stating, "Final round, in-person interview with Nick Fury. Location, Sector H9, Outer Rim of the Galaxy. Travel arrangements, you will fly with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Dress code, hero casual. The journey." Robin hitched a ride with the Guardians of the Galaxy. It started promisingly. He made small talk with Mantis. He complimented Drax's knives. Then he made the mistake of asking Rocket one innocent question. "So, what exactly is your role on the team?" "My role? I'm the tech expert, demolitions lead, pilot, sarcasm captain, backup drummer, and the only one with a 401k. What's your role, Hot Topic? Robin spent the rest of the trip in silence, wedged between a Groot sapling and 3 crates of illegal alien fireworks. When they arrived at nowhere, Robin was dropped off with exactly 1 word of encouragement from Rocket: "Don't embarrass Earth." Robin arrived 20 minutes early to the rusted-out command post where Nick Fury's office was supposedly located. The receptionist, a floating AI orb with 2 moods, apathetic and vaguely hostile, told him to have a seat. Robin must have looked over his resume 100 times and questioned every decision he had made leading up to this point. Finally, the door opened, and in walked Mick Fury, trench coat billowing despite no wind, coffee in hand, 6 hours late, and 0 apology. "State your government name," Mick Fury said. Robin panicked. Was this a trick question, he thought? But not wanting to waste any more time, he answered, Robin?" Mick Fury looked disappointed by Robin's reply. "Okay, what do you do when your team disobeys orders mid-mission?" Mick Fury asked. "I debrief, assess the risk impact, and..." But before Robin could even complete his answer, Mick Fury had moved on to the next question. "What's your approach to multiverse compliance paperwork?" "Wait, that's a thing?" "You got a pen?" Nick Fury asked. Robin handed him one. Fury used it to stir his coffee. "All right, that's all I need. You can go." He stood up and walked out. Robin sat, stunned. That was it? The orb receptionist floated over, blinked once, and said, "Thank you for your time." Robin sat in stunned silence. He had traveled 13 parsecs. He had survived passive-aggressive raccoons, and he had worn a heroic deodorant. All for this? "I missed 2 night patrols and a dental cleaning for that. He used my pen as a spoon." As he walked back toward the Guardian ship, Rocket greeted him with a slow clap and a smirk. "How'd it go, sidekick?" Robin didn't answer. He just climbed into the cargo hold and closed his eyes. If this ends with a rejection email that starts with "unfortunately," I'm burning my cape. It had been 3 weeks since the galaxy-hopping, soul-draining interview with Mick Fury. Since then, nothing. No email, no call, not even a thank you for applying through our heroic talent portal. Robin had cycled through every stage of emotional decay. There was denial, bargaining, muted rage, and finally, acceptance. Robin had even submitted his resume to a Power Rangers posting from the 1990s. But Robin's long-awaited fate would soon come to an end when a call came in from Stark Enterprises. It was Tony Stark. Robin's knees became weak in anticipation. "Bird Boy, hey, just wanted to give you a quick call. I've got like 2 minutes before I get cryogenically exfoliated." "Oh, hi, Mr. Stark." "Look, I'll cut to it. You didn't get the superhero role. That went to someone internally." "Internally?" "Yeah, we had a guy from finance who, turns out, is also a demigod. Real team player, great with spreadsheets and hammers." "Cool, great for him, I guess. But good news, we want to extend you an offer for a different position." Okay. "Sidekick, mine, full-time, 40 hours a week, no graveyard shifts, weekends off. You'd be assisting with prototype testing, light banter, occasional sarcastic commentary, and maybe saving the world once or twice, just depending on my mood." "Wait, you're sidekick?" "Yeah, I know. It's not the lead role you probably wanted, but hey, there's a sick benefits package, a dedicated espresso tap, and no Batcave-induced seasonal depression." I mean, if I'm being honest, that last part does sound pretty amazing. Exactly. And no offense to that man, but the dude does brood harder than a Tumblr blog from the 2000s. So what do you think? You in? Robin felt pressured to make a decision right on the spot. He was inclined to say no. After all, it wasn't the position that he applied for, and it felt kind of like a bait and switch. But then Robin had thought about all those years of working for Batman. Never once did he receive any acknowledgement or appreciation. Robin took a deep breath. "Well, I guess I'm in." "Awesome. HR will send over the paperwork through Workday, which is terrible, but legally binding. Oh, and they'll make you upload your resume and type it again manually. Sorry in advance." Tony hung up. Robin stared at the phone. He hadn't gotten the role he trained his whole life for. He hadn't even gotten a cape upgrade. But no more 2 a.m. rooftop stakeouts? No more daily lectures about fear and shadows? And maybe, just maybe, I'll finally get dental coverage. He took a long breath, straightened his hoodie, and whispered to himself, "I'm not a bird, I'm a phoenix now. A glorified coffee-fetching phoenix. Let's go."